Where did you learn to play chess?
I was serving in a special forces unit. We had no real combat enemies to kill. In contrast, we had a lot of spare time to kill. That's why I started playing chess on a regular basis.
And what was so special about that unit?
It was a military unit designed to protect an underground nuclear facility. It had its own rocket launching silo with a nuclear warhead on it.
Wow, that's unusual. Want to tell me more about it? Or is it a secret?
I guess now, after the Cold War, it's not classified anymore. In the old days, it was a highly secret hidden place, somewhere in a remote Russian forest, nearby a town that is not printed on any official map. By today, probably it's just a ghost town. All of our living quarters were hundreds of feet underground. The facility had its own library, designing rooms, and labs, where these scientists could do some very small-scale experiments. The very bottom level was a nuclear bomb shelter. It was also housing some nuclear scientists who were weapons specialists, who were keeping a close eye on them. Just wondering how that place is today.
We too have the same fate. Both of us are out of date. You dogs were the guards of home in your glory days. Now you've been replaced by electronic security systems. Today you're licking hands and butts. Where are the good old days when you could actually bite a butt? Politics. In my glory days, I lived here and was designing weapons of mass destruction. Merchants replaced me in that globalized business world. Merchants who buy things from suppressed people, sell it to the rich. My weapons were making no discrimination between the powerful and the weak. Today, in a globalized business world, in some geographic areas, businessmen generate conditions that create terrorists. It gives fear to people, just like my weapons did. The difference is, my goods were controlled. Along the history, those in power had to have something scary in their hands to be able to keep control over society. In the good old days, scientists had to built a strong industry to be able to make any kind of scary weapons. Today's merchants in building poverty make desperate people who can set to suicide missions. Cheap and easy, which I think is a business slogan. Scientists are used to dealing with laws of nature which cannot be bent, so they tend to follow the rules more correctly. Businessmen, on the other hand, are used to dealing with fictional laws. If those rules are bent, large profits can be made. Here we are. We live in a world ruled by cheaters. There are even laws to protect the cheater. But why am I talking to you? Me, a man who built tools of war, talking to his dog. On the other hand, I always like to talk to someone who is different than me. That makes me think of something else below conscience level. Sometimes that helps me to figure out much deeper ideas. Once when I was a young student, I knew an influential guy, a party activist who used to hang out with me in pubs. He was like dogs. He used to like to lick his boss's hand. I recall his mouth also drooled after 60 bitches. Talking to him several times about my inventions. He didn't understand a word from what I was saying. He appreciated my trust. The irony of those days was that simple-minded people could become power-hungry political leaders. Feeling suppressed by leaders, I decided my future. I wanted to build things that scare out the daylights of this short-sighted people. My dreams became truth after helping building the largest atomic bomb ever. That was back in 1960. It had a nickname, Tsar. I didn't touch the core of that big beast. It gave me a supernatural feeling. It was like a little bit warm. I felt like a large cat purring, waiting to be released. And it was released in Siberia. It was 6,000 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. When it exploded, its mushroom cloud was up 60 kilometers above Earth. It scared even the Soviet politicians. I got my dream by impressing the suppressors. And that was the beginning for me. After making the biggest bomb, I had to make the smallest. Later, I had an innovation, an improvement for the suitcase size of atomic bomb. More exactly, the two-stage nuke. Inside of a multi-head bomb is installed a second nuke, which role is to blow with a minor time delay to make the initial fireball way larger. It is colder in the epicenter, but still very destructive. Its damage can surpass several times the Hiroshima one, in spite of being a bomb so small that it can fit in the backpack. Are we afraid of nature? Nature is mightier than social rules, philosophy, or any personal ambition. Some say that we humans playing God. We cannot possibly do anything against nature. Simple. Nature's laws wouldn't allow us to do so. In the old days, I and you had something in common. We both were in a short leash. Am I any different today? Soon I'll be food in a businessman's plate. In a few weeks, this whole place is going to be changed into a special tourist resort for rich people by a Russian millionaire. The tourists are going to get here with decommissioned Air Force helicopters. On the way here, will be staged a missile attack against them. For $30,000 a week, they can enjoy the Russian North with some real military games using all kinds of decommissioned weapons. The war games are going to be played with real tanks, artillery, and Air Force. The hotel rooms are going to be in a nuclear bomb shelter. Eat special food from there. Some Russian army units are going to be used as players on the field. That way they can have their training too. It's a win-win situation. This place will be kind of a Disneyland for the rich. I'm going to be a tourist guide, a living science relic from the glory days, just like Mickey Mouse in Disneyland. Some would say it's a good feeling to know when you get old that people still need you for something. Now that I recall, none of those super weapons were actually used in real combat. Am I any different than Mickey Mouse?
Check. I give up.